DrSayus.
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has a mandatory 82GB install on PC, and we're the lucky ones. On Xbox One and PS4 the gigabytes are in the 90s, with Xbox Series X and PS5 reaching the eye-watering 130GB mark. Thankfully, after installing Cold War on PC, you can uninstall modes you don't use to save space by clicking Options and Modify Install in Battle.net, a feature that only started with Modern Warfare in October 2020. Why can't we choose what we install beforehand? Forcing a complete install the first time just wastes time and is inconvenient. The high texture pack adds around an optional 50GB onto this, but it only activates when texture quality is ultra and model quality is high. Essentially it's for the 4K people, so most of us don't need it. According to this video, these textures don't hinder performance when playing on these settings, so if you have the specs, go for it. Link to the videos in the description. Unlike playing Warzone when it came out, my PC never suffered memory leakage. However, I've noticed certain days the game crashes a lot or is just unplayable. For example, when they introduced the new zombie map, I couldn't even boot up the game for a few days. Also, currently for some reason I can't pause in the Firebase Z zombie map. I'm pretty sure this bug will be fixed. There's a few of those bugs going around. COD has a campaign? Like Titanfall 2, it's only a few hours long and it mixes a lot of quality ideas to create engaging varied levels, like sneaking about some chap's home. Of course it leaves you wanting more, but it's a better feeling than being burnt out if it was a long samey story. It offers some replayability too, as there's multiple endings to the story. The plot is goofy like an 80s B-movie flick, which is probably what they were going for. It's a fitting match for COD's frantic gunplay. You are a special agent who is being brought into a private government-run team to stop Perseus. You'll hear that name a lot. He's like the Lord Voldemort of this game. Between missions you can talk to your teammates and look at an evidence board, which will become more detailed the further you progress. There's a lot of lore around the story here, which you can use to solve clues to catch criminals. It's completely optional. I couldn't make heads or tails of it, but I'm glad it's there. The occasional AI soldier will act the fool, running on the spot or briefly hovering in the air before popping back onto the ground. So I don't know if they will fix these minor bugs, but they're certainly not game breaking. My favourite level offered the experience of playing a first person Hitman game. It was set in a realistic complex with plenty of rooms you needed to navigate to use stealth. My biggest gripe in this level was a cutscene that showed some of the guards together and they all happened to have the same face. There always happens to be a cupboard close by to store a new corpse you made, and no, you can't store more than one per cupboard for some reason. They do that in a lot of modern games now. I've never played a game with such realistic looking environments as in these levels. Some of the locations look very similar to ordinary places I've visited in real life, like a standard building complex or Burger Town. As expected, different parts of levels are repurposed as maps for either the multiplayer or zombie mode. It's not a gripe as levels are quite large and only small sections have been used. There's even 10 retro arcade cabinets scattered over the levels of retro games that were released during the Cold War period. It gave me a good excuse to try classics like Pinball and Kaboom, titles you hear every retro gamer on YouTube praise as part of the best era of gaming. The music changes tone at the right times to match the scene. Voice acting sounds like what you'd expect from the 80s. You also have your gruff soldiers like Woods, as you'd expect. Apparently he's been in the other COD games. To be honest, most of the time you won't notice the sound effects and soundtrack in any of these modes. If it was bad you would notice. It's what's expected, but it won't blow you away either. But people only buy COD for the multiplayer. The COD community claim multiplayer in Cold War is worse than the Modern Warfare. Apparently it doesn't feel right and there's less levels. I never played the latter, so how did I find it? It was okay. I recommend you start playing with bots first. For me, the hardest difficulty gives the right amount of challenge before facing the wrath of sweaty players. Fireteam Dirty Bomb was the new mode. Set on a large map, you earn points by collecting uranium from chests and enemies, filling a dirty bomb with uranium and detonating it. This causes mustard gas to be dispersed, which forces everyone to leave the area. There's a few modes I just didn't like, such as Prop Hunt, a mode ripped straight from Gary's mod. You're either a prop or searching for players controlling them. At least here, the searching player occasionally is given a clue. If you're the prop, I don't see how this is fun though. The best strategy for the prop is not to play, so what's the point? Both zombies and multiplayer introduce a temporary mode spanning a limited time, seemingly to match an important calendar event like Valentine's Day. Never liked that one. Of course you have modes expected in any modern online shooter like Team Deathmatch and Free For All. There's also more modes hidden under custom games that are worth trying out. As well as new levels, there's also classics like Nuketown Holiday 24/7. What is this, a Nintendo game? But we brought back zombies, guys! This is the mode I put the most time into by far. Up to 4 players can team up to mow down waves of Nazi zombies using an assortment of weapons like guns and grenades. Each round increases the number of enemies, the variety of enemy types and their damage resistance. The zombies' disintegration when shot is highly detailed. On low settings the blood looks PS2 quality. Aside from that, Call of Duty looks realistic no matter what your setup. Weapons are colour coded by strength. From worst to best, there's red, green, blue, purple, yellow and then orange. You can buy them from a wall, not with real money or a mystery box. The latter you get luckier the higher rounds you're on. You also spend in-game currency on perks in coloured vending machines to increase things like health, running speed and random ammo mods. It's essential to save up points and pack a punch your gun, which means upgrade it at a terminal, or you won't be able to put a dent on the later round zombie hordes. After round 20 this mode became dull for me. My team and I discovered that if we trained zombies, meaning leading them round in a circle in separate locations while gunning them down, we could sail past the rounds without much trouble. It was just very time consuming, literally lasting for hours. Our game only came to an end whenever one person decided to stop playing and another player's PC crashed. What made this mode more interesting is when your group decides to do the Easter egg storyline for each map. This requires at least one of you to watch video guides online, as there's a lot of precise steps that need to be taken that would be extremely time consuming for anyone to figure out on their own. I don't care how highly you think of yourself. I would have preferred it if this mode had had the option of adding more hints to the game, rather than expecting the player to have done the research first. I didn't even know about the Easter eggs until one of my team told me about it. An inexperienced COD player like me could have came into zombies thinking it was much shallower than what it actually was, and therefore not want to play another game in the series. Also, some people don't want to keep following a tutorial when playing a game. I play on a gaming PC with 2 monitors, so I wasn't too bothered about it, but not everyone has that option. At least the Easter eggs are optional, though I recommend you do them if you want to get better guns to keep the zombies at bay. Dead Ops Arcade 3. Rise of the Mama Back. This is a top-down version of zombies with a story as crazy as it sounds. It feels like a mobile game. Hold a button to gun down zombies to collect gold and power-ups while finding the end of each stage. It's 4-player co-op and a fun distraction, but I still see most people preferring the first-person modes. Gameplay in Cold War is fast and fluid, even with a lot of enemies on screen and without any noticeable frame drops. The game compensates here by strategically placing shadows on parts of a character's face, so as it doesn't have to render those parts. A clever trick I recall Rockstar using in Red Dead Redemption 2 on the original Xbox One. It's not all greys and browns like Call of Duty is associated with. Some levels are bursting with colour, usually purple. So you're probably thinking, why should I buy this over the other 20 plus COD games? Call of Duty games have a reputation of being similar to each other. The only titles I've played in the series aside from this are the original Modern Warfare, Black Ops 3 and Warzone, but I find Cold War is different enough from the other games in its genre to be worth my time. Gunplay is similar to other CODs I've played though, especially Warzone. What sets it apart is the campaign and zombie maps. Yes, zombies is a staple of the COD Black Ops series, but the crazy amount of Easter eggs that are available on each map offer a lot of replayability. So far there's only 2 maps, each with its own little story mode. I'm guessing there'll be one more zombie map released before the next Call of Duty, when this game will start receiving content. There's also plenty of difficulty options for every skill level. The hardest difficulty, realism, and campaign and multiplayer bots offer the right amount of challenge for me. They didn't wreck me like human players did, but didn't go down easy either. My verdict: if you are a COD connoisseur, you know what you're in for. If, like me, you play one every few years, it'll offer a different enough experience for you to justify the purchase. The game is already being on sale on battle.net. I got it for £33, 33 pence, only a month after release. That's about $40 US. So patient PC players should wait until the next sale, or if it arrives on Xbox Game Pass. In short, pros: each campaign level offers a different gameplay experience, as opposed to each of them being just shoot the baddies. Zombie survival maps have their own optional storyline, and even on low settings, environments look like realistic locations. Cons: Campaign only took a few hours long. Cold War is prone to crashes on an occasional bad day, and the game takes up more hard drive space than it should, especially on next gen consoles. I thought developers were getting better at compressing file sizes. There's really no excuse. I give Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War an A, 8 out of 10. Hello guys, hope you're having a fantastic day. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe for more videos.